Yeah. That's a good one, dude.
Well, I can't wait to hear this one. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nostalgically Hip Podcast, your Wednesday night source of always punctuality. No, I can't even say that with a straight face. But we had a small little technical difficulty. We had a little spillage happen right. Oh, where the hell is that coming?
That's me. I hit that by accident. Sorry.
That's right. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, so last week was cool, man. Or the last show we did, because last week we were in Pensacola. But the last show that we did before spring break was cartoons. And who doesn't love Saturday morning cartoons? But you can't watch Saturday morning cartoons without eating breakfast, right? And what did you eat the majority of the time when you were? Don't say what type of meal. Breakfast, but
was
it a cold breakfast or a warm breakfast?
My parents, when I got up on Saturday mornings, they weren't up yet. They would still be sleeping in because I got up really early because I was so excited. It was Saturday. You didn't have to go to school. You had the cartoons kicking in, and dude, it was everything back then. It was
definitely a routine, man.
Yeah, so
it was always get up early, right? I knew I was always up before my mom and dad were, and I don't mean like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. My butt was up at like 6 o'clock every Saturday morning,
that was it. Or earlier at times.
Or earlier.
It was that excitement you get as a kid that I don't know if kids get it these days. I'm sure they still do, but it was like that Christmas excitement, almost, not quite,
right?
But when Saturday came around, you knew that was your day because those were your specials, right? So, one of my favorites was always Smurf Berry Crunch, man, and I know we talked about that, but from what I can remember, obviously I haven't had it. It's been a while,
couple of
weeks. I wish they still made it because I would get it, but it was fruity, right? I remember it, honest to God, not just because of the gimmick. The Smurfs were huge, but I remember it being damn good, man. Like. Anytime sugar's involved, it's good, but it had if I tasted it today, I'd probably be like, gross.
Right. Or maybe not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, but that's okay because in my memory, that shit was awesome. Yeah.
You jumped the gun on me a little bit. I was trying to bring out the word cereal in you. I feel like we failed on a game show or some shit.
We did. We shouldn't play $5,000 pyramid?
Something like that. Yeah, wrong.
It's family people. You suck.
My point was that I would get up so early, and I knew that my parents would be up for a couple hours, and I was hungry, so I'd get a bowl of cereal and wait until Dad got up and made breakfast. So, failure on my part. I will haze myself accordingly later and carry on smartly.
Well, good on your dad for making breakfast because mine didn't. Like he liked bacon and eggs. It was always the same thing. He would make it for me during the week when he would, we were so different back then. Like for me, my mom went back to work when I was in the 4th grade, and my dad would always have like a sausage patty rolled up in some paper towel. And he just always, which is thoughtful. I still think about that. Like sometimes my dad was always so busy. I just thought that he always overlooked me. But now I look back on that sausage patty, right? It made me, but that's about the only time he ever made me breakfast. He'd leave that out. Other than that, it was cereal a lot. But we got a list of cereals because there's the great ones, and then there's the fucking ones that like, is this a joke?
I'm going to rely on you to talk about those because I don't really remember them for whatever reason. But I know as soon as you say one, it's going to be like, oh yeah. But I always loved straight up Captain Crunch.
Oh yeah, dude, it's still great. My kids love it. With the one with the peanut butter, because there's peanut butter, there's berry crunch.
It had to be just regular.
Yeah, we got it in the house right now. They love that cereal, dude. That's one of their favorites. I like Fruity Pebbles. We'll cover these, but that was a big one when I was a kid. But Captain Crunch, you're right. And there's a story behind Captain Crunch. Do you know what it is?
I don't.
Yeah, so like all foods, it's very important. The crunchiness, of course, the taste, and they were always testing them. How long does it crunch? How long does it stay hard? Not just cereals, but every food. Potato chips.
Cereal or Viagra? What are we talking about?
Viagra. Yep, I said Viagra. But they test. They go over what makes it crunchier, what makes it taste wise, and it's all kinds of shit that goes into that.
You're gonna knock that shit over again. You
think?
Right?
Am I?
You almost did.
I do this every week and I don't do it. Damn it! Sorry, dude. But there's so much that goes into it. Well, Captain Crunch, dude, they wanted to make it. They coated it, so it's actually coated, and they experimented with it. And they found some sort of coating that was
polyurethane.
Yeah, well, dude, it made you addicted. Is polyurethane addictive? Probably to painters and shit like that. Orange, yeah. That's why they're so fucked up. You ever talk to a guy that's been painting for years? Before latex came along? The real painters back in the day?
No, not real long.
Dude, I remember, because I always did construction, I remember coming into the new homes and they'd be all sitting out on the freaking, they had to get out of the house and they'd be just sitting on a patio with their head like. That's even with the respirators. That was the old oil paint. Remember that?
Right. Why'd you bring your elephant with you?
They would do it back in the day. They did all the oak trim, right? Oak base, oak casing, oak cabinets. And they would bring that shit in unfinished, and they fucking spray that shit,
seal it. And
Dude, I remember because I remember just thinking, how the fuck do these guys do this? But you'd always see them you show up at some point of the day, you'd see them just sitting out and freaking, oh god, and they were whacked out come 3:00, just gone.
Yeah, I mean, can't judge them.
But anyhow, back to Captain Crunch. So they coated it with some shit, and what it would do is. It made it more addictive. Now, my kids just recently brought this up to be on point. They said, it's just like so good. It's like addictive. And so that got me talking about that because I'd heard about it somewhere. And I was like, yeah, it's freaking meant to be that way. Yeah. So what they wanted you to do, and maybe you can attest to this, they wanted you to have a bowl, but then that's just not enough. I need to have another. And that was their whole thing.
Who can only eat one bowl?
Yeah. But isn't that weird? They tested and tested. It
should be illegal is what it should be. Really should. You're selling an addictive substance to children.
Yeah, so they're opening pot plants everywhere, but Captain Crunch has got to go.
Right.
Dude, McDonald's needs to go before anything.
I agree. Because as an adult, you're an adult. You make your own decisions, right? Mm-hmm. And you could argue the point of, well, it's the parents' responsibilities. Sure, we could argue that. At the end of the day, it's still legal to market children for addictive substances, mm-hmm. but it's okay because it's just sugar. It's not tobacco. It's not alcohol. It's not drugs.
Yeah, I agree.
I could argue that sugar is an addictive drug.
It is. I mean,
I'm addicted to it.
Potato chips kill me, right? It's a starchy carb, right. And it's deep fried in terrible oil,
right?
And I put, honest to God, dude, I put that on the same level as fucking cigarettes. I really do.
So delicious.
Like which kind? Because I remember the ones that when we were kids, they were the generic potato chips. They were sliced like as thin as fucking tissue paper,
super thin.
They fry the shit out of it just to make it a little bit more hard,
right?
They'd always have the bubbles because it was so thin. It would get the bubbles in them. And it was like eating chips. Air almost, but oil air.
The white bag with the black word chips across it.
Yeah. And how much fucking money? And then they came out with Ruffles. I remember Ruffles. And Ruffles' whole selling point was it was crispier, crunchier, and it didn't break as much or some shit like that, right?
I remember there was I believe it was a national chain. I think they're still around, but have you ever heard of Charles Chips? They used to come in a tin, mm-hmm. And the driver would come by and literally deliver it like the milkman. And my parents had gotten subscriptions to those for a while. And I remember even as a kid, it was cool that we get it. You get the can, you get to open the can and dive into the chips and all that. And that was fun. But even as a kid, I remember thinking, man, these aren't all that great, mm-hmm. And it was basically one flavor. You had plain old potato chip, and then you could also get pretzels. My dad always got the pretzels, mm-hmm. but and then they started coming out with flavors and
Pringles, dude. So we had the Pringle originals, and if you got Pringles, you got lucky. Who's a comedian that said, I remember, I'll never forget it because he goes, Why do I get, he talked like this, why do I get the feeling that Pringles originally was going to make tennis balls? But the day of delivery, who the hell is that comedian?
It sounds like Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg. Yeah, that's it. That's it. The day of delivery, a big dump truck with tennis balls showed up instead of potatoes showed up instead of tennis balls. And they were like, well, let's do it.
That was a funny dude, man.
Yeah, dude, he was good.
Gone way before his time. But
he killed himself, right? Man, we just always go off, don't we? Like, talk about ADHD. We got it. Well, yeah. Anyhow.
So remember what I loved about, and we'll get into specific brands here in a little bit, but what I loved was I always picked, so I was a greedy bastard as a kid, right? I didn't go and pick by flavor what my favorite flavor was. I walked up and down the aisle, and I went and picked out which one had the coolest prize in it.
Yeah, everybody did that.
Yeah,
everybody. Go on.
So I just remember it was so much fun digging in that box or wasting it. You only did this once, so you got the shit slapped out of you. Pouring all the cereal out to get to the prize, you know.
Yeah, or dig. Yeah. So I had numerous ways to do it because I would get yelled at all the time for digging through the cereal. Yep. So I would open it from the bottom sometimes and then wrap it back up and put the bag back in upside. So you cut the bottom, rip the bottom open, take the prize out, tighten it back up or tape it, and then put the bag back in.
Devious little bastard.
Nobody fucking knew. Nobody knew.
That's fun. I bet you somebody knew.
You think?
I think so.
Well, here's the thing. My parents didn't eat that shit, so why did they give a shit? I was still going to be the one that ate all of it.
I'll tell you what, if I caught Liam doing that, I'd be like, all right, let this one slide just on the pure genius level of it. So good on you, boy.
Well, so that you're right. That was a very big thing. And correct me if I'm wrong. I loved Fruity Pebbles still to this day. I still eat them. They always, in my opinion, had the best toys, the most unique. And one I remember the cars were a big one. Remember, it would get it in a little bag, and there'd be like the wheels and axle, and then there'd be like the car frame, like Fred or Barney in it, and you had to pop the wheel and the axles into it, and you could wheel that stupid fucking thing around.
Body.
But it was. I remember one time I got. I hope you remember this. I know someone's going to. I hope. I had a lot of them. Of course, the T-Rex was my favorite. I loved dinosaurs as a kid. I think most kids did back then. I think they probably still do. Obviously, Biden's in office, so maybe, they get to look at a dinosaur every day.
Well, he doesn't really miss him, because he got to see him firsthand. Right?
He sure did. But it was a glow in the dark, and it was in two pieces. So you'd get say you got a Stegosaurus or something. It came in two pieces. You'd pop them out like a model, and they just snap together, and then you sit them in front of the light, and they glow. And then I love those, man. And I had
that cheap ass plastic.
It was just cheap plastic, but
I remember.
I had them all, man, and I loved little shit like that. Just did it for me. I don't know what it was, and they also had there was one, I don't remember what cereal it was, but it had like a boat. I think it was Captain Crunch, and it was him like a sailboat, like a boat that he was on, right, or a ship. And he they'd show the commercials that float around the water. Well, then when I got it had directions. You had to have your own supplies to get it to go.
Right.
And if I'm correct, I think it was baking powder. And you would put baking powder in the back, and the baking powder would fizzle or something, and that would make the boat. So it was the stupidest fucking thing, and it didn't look anything like.
No, of course not. But we begged and begged and begged anyway.
Yeah.
I like the a lot of the chocolate, like the Count Chocula and
the monster cereals,
Cocoa Pebbles. I like the chocolatey ones. I like the chocolatey ones. Frankenberry,
Count Chocula, Fruit Brute, and then what was the ghost? Boo-berry. So did you ever? Do you remember? You could send away and get the little. They were probably about 8 feet, not 8 feet. Be fucking yeah. They're like 8 inches tall, and they were like little plastic, kind of like dog toys, like squeezy ones. I had all of them, and they're worth a fucking lot of money today. I don't have them anymore. I wish I did, but they're pretty valuable.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, you'd have to send away. You'd get like the proof, because that was a big thing back in the day.
Right.
The proof of purchase, and then you'd send that in, like 5 proof of purchase, and we'll send you this. And
right. Cutting out the
you're just eating the shit out of Monster cereal. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. The box tops. You know, they still have that program.
Yeah. But now you don't get shit for it. You give it to someone else and they get shit for it. Probably a sex change or something like that.
Probably. Yeah. A free trip to Disney.
Or I'm sorry, gender care.
Or a sex change at Disney, you know? What else? What else could be better, you know?
But you're right, the toys. And in honor of that, I actually put together a little list of stuff. Tell me if you remember any of this. Captain Crunch had Captain Crunch Surfers. I guess that was pretty popular.
No.
Okay.
These are spin-offs?
Just cereal toys. They were in the box. Yeah.
Toys. Okay.
Spooky Speedsters. That was in the Monster cereal.
Yeah.
It was like their heads in a freaking race car or some shit like that. Their bike reflectors was a big one. Do you remember that?
I do remember those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at her. I bet you want in, don't you?
She does.
I'll let the bitch in.
Flipmobile.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I guarantee I had it. Stickers was big. And that was also big, and or tattoos would have been a big one. Cracker Jacks, remember you got that a lot in Cracker Jacks.
Should have been called Crapper Jacks because none of the prizes in there were worth a shit.
Yeah, wacky wall whackers. Remember those got huge?
Yeah.
So you'd have to buy them at first, and then the next thing you know, they're giving them away in cereal boxes. Everybody had one.
Hey, was there any alcohol in your drink?
Yeah.
Okay, look it up, girl. Go ahead.
Okay. Is it still down there?
Yeah. Go ahead, find it. There you go.
Wheaties mini still license plates. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. Although I never ate Wheaties. I
didn't either.
I had them once, enough to know that this sucks, and I don't ever want to eat this again.
Caitlyn Jenner was on the box of, wasn't Caitlyn Jenner when we were growing up, but Caitlyn.
Never heard of them.
Captain Crunch glow in the dark pirate. There was a Sugar Crisp magic ball. Remember those magic balls that were
popular? The Magic 8 Ball.
Yeah, apparently Sugar Crisp had one. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. I remember Sugar Crisp. As a matter of fact, I think I really do remember the Magic 8 Ball because I think they're in a treehouse or something on the commercial.
We'll have to look that up.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking up to the voices in there.
Almond Delight gave cash away. They'd actually put real cash in there.
Yeah, you'd have to get me to eat that shit.
That's a fucking bribe. It's not a prize.
Right.
It's a bribe.
Straight up.
And inside the Almond Delight is a bribe. Eat this shit and we'll give your money back.
Kid, I'll pay you $5 if you eat this shit.
Speaking of that, do you remember? I don't know I know I've recently talked about this. Spick and Span, the mop, you mopped shit up. They were doing a thing for a while. I have no idea why, but it was like in the late 80s, early 90s. They would put diamonds in the bottom of the bottle, so you could actually see the diamond on the bottom.
Huh.
Now, the catch was buy Spick and Span. I have no idea what diamond had to do with it. Maybe diamond clean or diamond, who knows?
Sparkling clean.
Yeah. So you might get lucky, and then one of those diamonds might be a real diamond. How you would find that out, I don't know, because you'd have to probably keep going in and paying to have it, right? So you're already, nope, you got shit again.
Yeah, so they had to be in cahoots with some jewelers or something. Go to K Jewelers, and only K Jewelers, It
could have been. I can't remember. But here's the thing. My dad, who always seemed so sensible to me, he'd come home and like spick and span. This could be a real diamond. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really, Dad? Like, this is the kind of shit I would do. I
think it goes back to, things like that go back to caveman days. It's the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
We're not out hunting to survive anymore, so we're hunting for some kind of satisfaction.
Right. And then Alphabet had a terrarium. Alphabet. Alphabet had a terrarium. Now, I kind of remember that.
They also had Tourette's.
Well, dude, what the hell was up with terrariums? Because so me and Bets go back and watch a lot of older shows, like the 80s, 70s. Dude, fucking flowers. Now, I know part of it was they'd hide the camera in them. So if you look at like Three's Companies, there's ferns everywhere. And a lot of those old shows, they would put cameras in them. So they could be covered from all areas. But like you can go to movies where I'm pretty sure they didn't use cameras like that. I don't know, but they're everywhere. You see people watering plants. It's a big thing.
I think that goes back to the Cold War
Mm-hmm.
and the fear of a potential nuclear war.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being totally serious.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of that. It's like the preppers nowadays, but back then it was grow your own food, grow your own plants. Because if the friggin' Russians bomb us, you're not going to have the infrastructure to get food and things that you need. I think I'm speculating, but
it was the thing, dude. And obviously, we've been talking about this for a long time, and we always go back 70s shows and shit like that. And I always say, God, look at the fucking plants. And then one of the movies we just watched, the lady was just going around having a conversation, watering them. I'm like, they're fucking everywhere. But when you're giving them out to kids in the 70s, 80s, that says how big they were. Apparently, they thought you'll like them too.
Right.
So I kind of remember those when I seen them. The image of when I was writing this list down, I was like,
I don't remember it.
Looks like something I had. I know that I had something.
But it's just funny that Alphabet Soup would have it because it's a bunch of
alphabet cereal.
I mean,
alphabet,
cereal, yeah, nerdy shit. Anyway, letters and plants. Give me sugar.
Yeah,
I'm good with sugar. Thanks, Captain Crunch. Where you? Can I hitch a ride there, buddy?
Well, so give me another one. What do you have on?
Oh, fucking screen died. But so Captain Crunch was one of my favorites. Believe it or not, I had a very weird taste. Don't laugh when I say this, because it's not a kid cereal at all. But grape nuts.
Oh, yeah.
I actually like grape nuts.
Now, have you had them lately?
No.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because I did too. But so the thing with grape nuts was it had a good taste. Mm-hmm. But only with a lot of sugar. That's just me. So I remember one time my mom got up and I was just dumping fucking cereal in it. I mean, dumping it.
Sugar?
And she's like, sugar, just dumping the shit in there. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it was right before bed. I'm like, I love grape nuts. She's like, I think you like sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
With grape nuts in them. Because, so what I was going to say is, I don't think they were that good. Now, I haven't had them, but I'll bet you couldn't feed that to your kids.
Oh, I almost guarantee I couldn't.
It's like Jacks used to be big. Remember Jacks? You bounce the ball and grab the Jacks. Ain't no fucking kid playing Jacks today.
Well, they did when they were younger.
Jacks?
Yeah.
For how long?
Month.
Do you remember getting that shit for your birthday? Marbles? Like, is that a fucking joke?
Right.
No one our age knew how to play marbles. It was a big game in 1930.
Right.
What the fuck is this? Oh, it's marbles. Like,
yeah, that's just cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you throw that shit right in your freaking top drawer.
Or you take them and shoot them out of your slingshot.
Yeah, remember we had the good shit, dude. Remember those slingshots?
The wrist rocket?
Fucking things were like guns, dude.
Yeah. My mom used to eat Cheerios with sugar, an ass ton of sugar and whipped cream. And it turns out it's pretty damn good with all that sugar and whipped cream.
Well, everything's good with whipped cream.
Yes.
Everything. You can just dump whipped cream right in your mouth.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And sugar, I think Cheerios have to have sugar. Who are they kidding?
Right.
This shit, they still make that shit. Who's eating fucking Cheerios? Who's eating Cheerios?
My mom.
That was punishment, right? When your mom bought you the Cheerios, you're like, fuck this.
Right. But nostalgically speaking, every now and then we'll get a box of Cheerios.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what we'll do? My kid likes them, and I get mad every time. Vanilla wafers.
I love them.
Fuck those things.
We got a box of them upstairs right now. I'll go get you some.
So that was when my mom would bring home vanilla wafers because we always had them. Mm. I always sat and went, I think there's a cookie called Oreos out, Mom. Because that's what you wanted.
Right.
Vanilla wafers was like the shit your grandma had during World War II.
That was compromise. I got you cookies.
I got you some cookies, and I hear they're a little bit better, but because I won't eat them because they're garbage. Look, I get it. I see them put them in ice cream sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, that's a fucking joke. Nobody wanted that shit in the 80s.
No, I sure as hell didn't.
Yeah, you wanted...
But it's cool now.
You wanted Oreo cookies. Yeah, my kid likes it. I'm like, dude, this is an insult. This is like going back and playing old 8-bit video games, and you can play this shit. Like, I'll walk by some of their video games and go, that looks like a fucking movie.
Right.
Like, why would you be playing an 8-bit video game?
How about you wanting Oreos and then getting Hydrox. The knockoff.
Dude, the fucking knockoff brand.
It's like, why?
How did you
Well, they're
remember
just
that
like
name?
Oreos. Well, if they're just like Oreos, why don't you just get the Oreos?
And they copied fucking everything.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember when Oreos went double stuff?
Oh, yeah.
And Hydrox came out like a week later with double Hydro,
Right.
double Drox.
And doubly shitty.
Yeah, and it was garbage.
It was horrible, man. But yeah, it never failed. Give me some Oreos. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, it was like the AWA to the WWE or something, right?
And you're like, as a kid, you're thinking in your mind, because you'll never say it out loud, what the fuck is this? Mom?
Yeah, that was always, we talked about it with toys. That was always me. I always got that shit.
Right.
I always got like, I'd come home and somebody at school, see my kids, I take good care of them. Like if they want a name brand, I get it.
Mhm.
Fuck, I'm going to get you that.
Yes, we do too.
Because it's like, I fucking sending you off to school with knockoff Nikes.
Right. Because I remember
going to school with that shit. Because you'd ask your parents for something. One of the funniest stories, my wife's got it. Because I know I feel for her sister in this story. She wanted a Cabbage Patch Kid for Christmas, and that's when they were huge. And they got her like this fucking knockoff cab, and I just always laugh about that because that was me.
Right.
Like, so I had like this trauma. I've told you the story where I'd go sit on Santa's lap and I'd have cutouts of the flyers. I'm like, don't fuck it up this time.
Yeah, don't fuck it up this time, fat boy.
Yeah, this is what I want. Like, I don't want Hydrox.
How many reindeer do you have? You're going to be one less, fat boy.
So whenever I think about that, or I still laugh about it. So I always wanted to say, like, I almost said it Hydrox. I almost said, oh yeah, the fucking Cabbage Patch Kids of fucking cookies. Because I always think of that story. And it just reminds me so many times of what I would.
Yeah.
It's like Rodney. I was like the Rodney Dangerfield kid.
Right.
Like, I asked for this and I got that fucking shit. Like,
and of course, as kids, you haven't learned to be grateful for what you had. You're just pissed.
But it does teach you, like, yeah, I'll go that one extra step and I'll get you what you wanted. I don't want you to be the fucking joke at school.
Right.
Like we were, like you'd show up, like all of us back then know it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get our shit. That's what we were just recently talking about when people were like, like, well, I didn't know. I didn't either, man. Don't kid yourself. Nobody in the 70s and 80s got a fucking thing they wanted. And if they did, I don't know how they did it. I just don't know how they did it because I sure as hell didn't get it.
It came from money.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Maybe, dude. Like my parents weren't suffering. I told you that story last week where like I've been wearing the same pair of jeans for fucking 3 years now. Mom's got patches all over in them. I look like Huck Finn.
Right.
I'm rolling down a freaking boat somewhere. And dad, and then when I grew up, I was just coming out of high school. My dad got like his fifth. He'd bought so many Cadillacs, he got a fucking gold medal for it. And I'm like going,
that's hilarious.
And I wore those jeans around for 3 fucking years. I had shoes. You remember this?
That's hilarious.
Do you remember that goo shit they'd give you for Soul Savers?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Your fucking ball of your foot had worn through. Shoe goo.
Yeah.
And that's what you got. Can I get these shoes? They take you and buy you shoe goo and go, there you go.
Put some duct tape around it.
You fucking remember
you get another couple months out of them. Put some duct tape around it.
Yeah, and like fucking 10 years later, this guy's getting a fucking Cadillac gold medal and a freaking nice jewelry box. And I'm like, are you is this a joke? I see patches today.
Patches?
Like those iron-on patches that like you fix jeans with.
Right.
And I lose my shit.
Right.
I was like on Amazon one day and they happened to pop up and I'm like,
and shit.
Well, yeah, like freaking iron them on because he iron them on the outside or the inside.
You had to iron them on the inside.
On the inside?
Yeah. I remember that shit all too well.
Yeah, we had to fix our own bicycle tires. Remember that? Like the inner tube would go, we'd have to learn to you hit that thing where you light it up and it'd burn it onto it.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was a bicycle dude, man.
I was too.
I would piecemeal it. I had so many damn Frankenstein bikes, that I had built from spare parts here and there. And I can remember going around and cutting all these yards, trying to save up money because I wanted a mongoose so bad.
Mongoose, Diamondback, or Redline.
There was no way.
Now they sell Diamondbacks at fucking Walgreens.
Yeah, and Mongoose in fucking Walmart.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Man.
Yeah, dude, because that was like, you had to go. So we had a place called Olympia Cycle where I lived, and there was another place called the Bike Rack. And I never got to go there.
Yeah.
Everyone else I fucking knew got to go to the Bike Rack and pick their bike out there. I either fucking inherited bikes from my brother, or a couple times I found them. You'd probably call it stealing today.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
What?
There's a bike sitting there all by its lonesome.
Oh, yeah. But I remember the closest I got to a good bike was a Murray, and they sucked. Remember Murray's?
Oh, yeah.
It was like the knockoff bike.
I'd rather,
they were as heavy as a
Murray
car.
was one step up from Huffy at the time.
Fucking Huffy, dude. That was the one I got. I got that Huffy, or that cheap piece of shit banana cycle, which is probably valuable today. But I remembered going into a store and seeing a Redline. It was just the frame. And it was back then $105, $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted it. I was going to build my own bike. And I remember telling my dad, I was like, I saved the money because they weren't going to buy that shit for me. I didn't get name brand shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, $105. Like, fuck. Like my Huffy cost $20. Yeah. You get a Huffy. I'd like the Redline. Huffy.
I don't know if I got screwed or not, but back then it didn't matter because I wanted it and I got it. I had a friend that sold me his old Mongoose frame for $30. Again, I don't know.
That would have been a bargain back then because Mongoose were right up there.
Yeah.
I would say if the Redline was 100, then the Mongoose back then had to be damn close.
Yeah, for sure.
The Diamondback.
But I remember I didn't care. To me, it was a deal.
Yeah.
Because it was a Mongoose frame. And I worked and I paid him that $30. And then I was so proud of that damn thing, but I piecemealed everything else together. I would wait, I'd work and I'd go and I'd buy, we had a bike shop right up the road on Manchester Road. And I remember going up there and I would buy pedals at one point. So I bought cool
Remember
pedals.
how cool, and they'd have like the neon sapphire blue ones. And then, God, they started getting real cool. They probably pushed that shit out like nothing, but we didn't have that. We had those, remember those fucking pedals that were cheap ass ones? They were like, they looked like potato pillars.
Yeah, the old metal ones that would tear the shit out of your shins.
God forbid you missed the pedal slipped off because you were like you'd shave your legs and dude, we got so fucked.
I bought these white plastic pedals. It was like plastic was when they were first coming out and they were cool and expensive. And I remember getting those and I ended up buying a handlebar set and different sprockets and different cranks and putting all of it together and being so proud of that damn thing, man. And then my dumbass went and spray painted the frame black
because it got I did the same shit,
which ruined the value of the damn frame.
But you had to do it because What about the goosenecks? You'd have those cheap, remember, just like a piece of metal that would round around and you'd put the nut, would tighten it. So basically, and then we got the good ones that were like, what were they, 4-bolt or something like that?
Yeah.
You got a 2-bolt?
Hex bolts.
Like I grew up mostly with a 1-bolt.
Right.
And it looked like a coat hanger thing. And and remember your freaking.
Oh, yeah.
The handlebars.
You never get them. Yeah, you never get them tight.
Okay. Well.
Or some idiot will come up and twist them on you on purpose,
And that was it. So we had cereal and we had freaking mongoose. And we should have saved that for a bike BMX podcast because that shit was big back then.
Yeah. Well, we can revisit it.
Yeah.
So tell me about your lawnmower story.
Oh, we're getting off the fucking. Okay, yeah, I'll give you the lawnmower.
You never told me, and now I mean,
well,
we'll come back.
I was eating some Mr. T cereal.
I pity the fool.
I pity. Yeah, no, dude. I came out. I seen you Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You just got your trailer. We were BSing about that, and you're like, I'm gonna take it out and drop it off on that property, and I'm gonna go over and mow mine because I still have to mow, even though we're out of the house. I still have to maintain the property. So I bought a brand new Skag lawnmower. We talked about that. I was real proud of it. I'm like, I can't wait. It goes like 7-8 miles an hour, and I'm gonna be flying around. Like, actually, my son's supposed to be mowing, but I wanted to go see how it worked and get the feel for it.
Yeah, of course.
So it's got a 61-inch deck. I mean, this fucking thing's nice, dude. I'm wheeling around. I'm like, God damn, I'm just like turning. I can turn on his, it's like a Bobcat. If you've ever driven a Bobcat, like you just, it's the
Zero
same thing.
turn.
Yeah, you're just freaking, and I'm going back and forth. Now I got a pretty big yard, right? So we're like on 3.5 acres. It's not all grass, but there's a lot of grass. So I go around the pool area. I come up around the outside perimeter, just on the upper back part. Thank God on the upper back part, not the down lower part, because I'd really been fucked.
Oh boy.
I get almost 2 swipes even. So I have my headphones on, because what I do is I wear my AirPods, and then I wear like shooting
Ear Pro.
Ear protection over the top of that, because just so I can hear. I can mute it out, but I like sometimes they're so loud.
Yeah.
I just
Still
put that on.
Your hearing.
But I feel like I hear something, and I can feel something, and something registers. Like, what? And I thought, there's a lot of branches that'll fall. Sometimes I'll hit those.
Run over?
What did I run over? Did I hit something? And I look, and I'm just like fucking covered in smoke.
Oh shit, man!
Covered in smoke, and I'm like, the fuck? So I turn it off immediately. Because I'm watching, I can see that come out of the engine. Engine exhaust, the pipe is freaking smoking out.
Oh shit!
And I go, and I sit there, and I'm like, I look, make sure I didn't do something wrong. I'm looking, I'm like, no, what could I have done wrong? Jesus, I even bought premium gas for the damn thing. I thought I'm gonna treat this thing right, do exactly what they told me. They said, no, only buy 30 days worth of gas. Don't let gas sit, blah, blah. Fine. Fair enough. I'm going to do all that. All my other equipment, I buy like my Husqvarna and shit like that. I always buy the expensive gas. It's especially made. It has like 0 octane, whatever fucking high octane or whatever they say. I buy it so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm like, it can't be that. Can't be the gas unless something was put into the gas. I don't know. So I leave. I'm like, I'm just not touching it. I'm not going to fuck things up. Because, I just had a bad experience with gas vehicles.
Fire.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not touching it. So there it is, just sitting in my yard. Like, you know how they get the circular drive. It's like it's in the second row of the circular drive of the grass.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I get off, and as I was looking around, there's like I couldn't even hardly. Well, I could see my house, but it was pretty smoky.
Wow.
Got off, went in, did some other things, came back. I tried to call them. I told the lady, I said, actually, I went and tried to start it again. It started smoking again, and then it stopped. Couldn't even turn it again. I was like, fuck. So I called them up. Some lady answered because I can't get anybody to wait on me. Can I help you? And I said, yeah. And I told her the story. I said, I just bought this thing. You just dropped it off. I said, can you I'll have someone call you back. And I go, well, it's Friday. We're going into Easter weekend. And it's spring. Like grass is growing. She goes, yeah, I'll get on it immediately. Sure enough, someone called me at about 6:00. Said, well, we don't have the right trailer. We can't pick it up yet because it's pretty big. It's 61-inch deck. So it's pretty big. Mm-hmm. Guy's like, well, I don't have a trailer to get it. I'll send someone else out. Probably talk to you Monday. I'm like, okay, whatever. Monday comes. I have to call them.
Course.
Yeah, so I wait till about 4. I call them, say, hey.
Damn, you waited a hell of a lot longer than I would have.
Yeah, dude, I was just like, so here's the thing. I said to them, now it was last year's model. That's the last one they had. And I said, you guys were going to sell me this year's model, but you didn't have any in. You're waiting for them, and it's only $300 more. I said, bring me that motherfucker. Just bring me a brand new one out. I'll give you $300. They didn't want to do that.
Why?
I don't know. Here's how I got it today. So here's the deal. I said, look, man, I got a bad taste in my mouth from this. We've already kind of started off on the wrong foot. I'm just not happy. I go, bring me a new one. I'll give you guys the fucking money. The $300 extra. Just bring me out a new one. Well, I'll see what I can do for you. I got to talk to somebody. I'm like, there ain't no fucking, I'll see what I can do. Guess what you're saying then is I bought your trash and finally you got rid of it.
Right. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, so it's got a 5-year warranty, and he goes, it's just what they said it was there's water in the tank because they move it back and forth. They keep it so low, and vapor got in there. It got into the engine, and then it burns out. Yeah, that's what they said happens. And we'll change the oil. So
what part of new tractor do you not fucking understand?
right, especially if I'm willing to pay for it.
Right.
Like, but it sounded, he goes, well, let me see what I can do for you. I was just quiet. Like, I was just like, think about what you're saying to me. I just gave you guys fucking $6,000. Didn't finance. I fucking gave you guys $6,000. You got my money. I don't have shit. Think about that. If that were you, that's how I always have to put things to people. Like, if this were you, how would you feel?
Uh-huh.
And so he's just talking, and I said, okay, well, let me know. And then didn't hear nothing yesterday. So this was Monday, and I got a phone call today from a kid. Hey, Ryan, this is Cody with St. Louis Equipment. Just wanted to let you know, got your lawnmower down. I'm going to drop it off here in a bit. Real nice kid. And I just was kind of sensing. I said, instead of saying, coming out and go, did I get a new one? I said, so did they fix it? Yeah, they fixed it. And I'm like, motherfucker, that's why the other guy didn't call me. He didn't want to deal with me. He'd have someone else be the bearer, bringer of the bad news.
You tell Cody, no, just go ahead and keep it there, buddy.
No, dude. Well, they got my money. I mean, technically, it would have probably been a different story if I financed it. And I just fucking quit paying. Fuck you. Take your fucking mower and just quit paying the shit. Whatever. I don't know. But that was it. He said he called me, said he dropped it off. It was out there. So,
boy, that's shady.
Well, that's what I thought.
That's shady as fuck, man.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
you're way nicer than I would have been.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll say this. The guy diagnosed it. Here's the thing. He diagnosed it over the phone.
Of course he did. They knew what they had. They knew what the problem was.
Right. That's what I told my wife. I said, if you knew that was what it was, then why you send those out knowing that might happen? But they did come back and get it. And they did take it and fix it. Here's the best part. I go, man, I got this motherfucker. It comes out scratched already. Because the guy said, it's got a little scratch here. But if you want, I go, don't worry about it. I'm going to scratch that motherfucker up anyways. That's what I thought.
Right.
And he goes, well, we'll warranty the I can't remember the grass, the feed or whatever, scratch you. We'll warranty that and get you a new one. I don't fucking care. That's being pretty cool.
Right.
Be careful what you do because people will take advantage of it.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of got that going already. And then this, and it's like, okay, so then this happens. They did come out and get it. They did say they fixed it. It does have a 5-year warranty. But like you said, I mean, maybe they fucking knew. Maybe it's been sitting there.
They knew.
Yeah.
They had to though. I can't diagnose something over a phone.
Yeah.
Without putting eyeballs on it and
yeah, but if you don't give your customer, like I said, hey, it's just simple. You keep it and bring me a new one. I'll give you the money, and you don't want to. That tells me.
Yeah.
It tells me something. It tells me you wanted to get rid of that.
Tells me I need to get rid of this now. I wouldn't have accepted it back.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Kind of goes like you said, the people, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and like, I wanted to pick up the trailer that I bought the Friday before we went on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh no, we need 5 days process. And I'm like, you really don't,
Mm-hmm.
but all right, we'll play your game. All right. So let me schedule it for the Friday that we get back. Well, we're on our way back on Thursday and I get a phone call. It's like, hey, Mr. Parker, I want to schedule your pickup date. I said, no need. He goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, we've already scheduled it for tomorrow at 1:00. Well, I can't do tomorrow at 1:00. I said, well, then you better find somebody that can, because that's what we've already agreed upon. And I'm coming into town and I will be there at 1:00 tomorrow to pick that up. So I highly recommend that you find somebody that can do it.
Yeah.
Because, well, I'm the manager here. I said, well, then there you go. You got the power. Make it happen, boss. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hung up.
Well, yeah, I think everything just went to shit. I think we allow, and you're probably right. I probably should have said more. I told the guy, I go, look, my motherfucking house just burnt down. And I go, I don't feel comfortable with this already. Already having problems with this. I got other shit I got to worry about.
Right.
And they still couldn't make it happen. The thing is, it's on a 5-year warranty.
Jerk offs.
But here's the, fine. Fuck, I can dish that thing off and sell it to someone else and then fucking move on and never buy something from you again.
Right.
It's
easy.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Man, I can spread the word. So spread that word. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So, that reminds me, hearing that story kind of reminds me of honeycombs. Not really, but I just figured we'd get a segue
Just slip
back
it
to
in there.
cereal.
Honeycombs, yeah.
Honeycomb big. Yeah.
That's good, dude. What? Did you like honeycomb?
Not really.
Me neither.
It was okay. I mean,
Crunchy, right? Crunchy,
yeah,
and it was fucking
sweet,
honey.
but it was a sweet corn taste, and that really wasn't. I wanted just straight sugar, man. Let's not beat around the bush.
Everybody does.
Rice Krispie. I did like Rice Krispie, but that was another one you had to add.
They had no sugar on it. You can legit. Rice Krispies it's rice without the sugar.
Yeah.
If if you're gonna work out, it's a good post-carb meal for sure. You can put that in, don't leave the sugar out, or put artificial sweetener in. It's perfect for that, and you're gonna keep a healthy diet with that because it's a gluten-free source. If that's that's your thing. But when you say that to me, I don't want that as a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You do that on a diet. You have Rice Krispies, but dude, so I got a list, man. Like.
Well, let's go through it.
Let's fucking do it. Donkey Kong. I think we talked about that.
I never ate it. I remember it, but I never ate it.
Corn crisp cereal. So if you had any corn, it's all just corn shit. They just put
Lucky
it in different
Charms.
shapes. Yeah, kind of like that, but maybe a little more crunchy. I would say kind of like Captain Crunch, kind of like that, but probably not that same goodness.
Man, I really want some Captain Crunch right about now.
Let's go get some.
I might go to the store. Too late. Store closed at 10.
9.
Store closed at 10.
Does it?
Schnucks does, yeah.
Really? Walmart's
I don't know
open.
about Deerbergs.
You can go to Walmart and get freaking.
Go see all the freaks.
Actually, where we're at, it's not too bad. There were some places.
Except at this time.
Dude, I remember living in Vegas. You go to Walmart past 10 for anything. They'd have like the shopping carts rolled out in front of one side of the door. And I'd be like, what the hell? Like, yeah, that's fucking
crowd control, buddy.
Like, Jesus. Mr. T.
I never ate that either.
Same shit, like Donkey Kong. It was all the same shit.
Of course.
They just put
the same company, General Mills. They owned all the damn cereals.
Yeah. G.I. Joe, we talked about that. Yeah. They had a cereal.
Yeah.
I seen the pictures of it.
Never.
I'm guessing maybe I did have it. It sure as hell doesn't stick out, but it's probably because it was
not
corn cereal, corn crisp. E.T. Dude.
Never had it. I do remember it.
I do too. I mean, vaguely. I seen the box. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember it, but I never had it.
Okay, Nintendo cereal system.
Oh my God.
Cereal system.
Oh my God.
No, that's true.
I believe you.
I almost wish we had the pictures. I was going to send you a thing, but I thought it'd be too big of a hassle. If you see the boxes, you might be like, oh, fuck.
You should have sent me the pictures.
Well, you can pull it up.
I could, but I'm really lazy right now.
I'll send you a link.
I don't do that. It's too late now.
Oh, Jesus. So I couldn't have sent you the pic.
No, you totally could have. I would have had them ready to just push a button and we put it on the show. But
Gremlins.
No, I don't remember that.
Gremlins had a cereal.
I didn't know that.
I don't think I do either. I don't think I had it. Maybe I did.
I guarantee I didn't.
Yeah. Nerds. I do remember that.
I remember Nerds.
Yep. It was in a box and it looked just like a Nerds box.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't taste like the candy that much. So I'm sticking with the candy.
You're right. Cookie Crisp.
Oh, I love Cookie Crisp.
Still out there, dude. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So think about that. No, Ryan, you can't have it in the cookie.
But you can have Cookie Crisp.
Can I have some Cookie Crisp? Can I have some cereal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my
bunch of little cookies in a bowl.
I'm gonna get my cookie one way or another.
Here's one. I kind of remember it, but again, I don't remember if I remember. You know what I mean? Like It seems familiar. C-3POs.
I remember it.
Do you really?
I never had it, but I like Star Wars, but I didn't like Star Wars to the point where I'm gonna go eat some trash cereal.
I'll bet it was corn cereal.
Even as a kid, I knew it'd be trash cereal.
Ghostbusters.
I didn't know they had a cereal, but I'm not surprised.
Can we just say that if there was a movie that was popular in the 80s, there was a cereal?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there an Indiana Jones cereal?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Was there really?
I didn't know that. Yeah, so I was waiting to get to that. I was coming at that's up in just a few. But it was the box looked exactly like the DVD cover or the movie
the poster.
Yeah, same fucking thing. I was like,
God.
dude, I almost got on eBay because I'm such an Indiana Jones fan and ET. And see if I could just buy a fucking box of that. So I'm sure there's worms in it now, and
you'd never eat it, but just to have it.
Yeah,
I guarantee you could find a box.
Yeah, dude.
Probably expensive, but
you think? I'll bet not. It's a cereal box.
Well, now that fucking they're trying to bring back Indiana Jones again and the Temple of Woke.
Fuck him now. Yeah. I'll never watch that show. By the way, I'll never watch it. Not even to make fun of it. I'll never watch it. Which is sad because that's probably one of my favorite shows. Top 5 for sure.
Let's go back to that after we get through the series because I just watched a series on Netflix. I want to tell you about.
Okay, so Rainbow Bright.
I remember that, but
yeah,
even back then.
Was that a cartoon?
It was.
Okay, so they did the cereal based on it. Okay.
My Little Pony, I'm sure had a cereal. I almost guarantee it.
Probably. My next one on the list was Dunkin' Donuts.
Really?
Yeah, it just looked like their stupid sign. Donut going in the freaking milk or whatever the hell it is. Or
dumb.
Yeah. Batman. So the 89 Batman. Yeah, it looked just like this stupid movie poster. It just seems like that's what it was.
Of course.
Smurf Berry Crunch. I put that down just because in case I forgot, which I wouldn't, because that's the number one thing I would have thought of. Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Right.
The funny thing is that not only did they make cereal for everything back then, but they had a candy for it too.
I'm sure they did. The only candy I can remember, because I loved it, I haven't had it in years, probably 40, would have been Reese's Pieces from E.T. Remember that? Because it got popular when he was throwing those out. And I was like, those were so good, dude. But I'm sure you're right. Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids had one, but they were so big. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you knew that was going to happen.
Right.
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels had a cereal?
Hot Wheels cereal.
Huh.
It's like the ramp and a Hot Wheel going down
Interesting.
it. Yeah, I thought so. And I'm sure I remember it. But it's been, Hot Wheels has been such a big thing for us our entire lives. But was it that big of a fucking thing?
I never had it. Never had that cereal.
Like, who would say I love Hot Wheels so much?
Right. I got to eat that cereal.
I got to eat the cereal.
I got to eat that garbage ass corn puffed shit.
Yeah. And while we're on that, all the shit that I'm reading, Rainbow Bright, Cabbage Patch Kids, there was no fucking Evil Knievel cereal. Is this a joke?
That sounds communist.
Evil Knievel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Evil Knievel cereal. That's some bullshit.
That seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And like him just on the cover of it, and his American flag going, fuck you, eat it.
Or him jumping over the fucking canyon right before he blows it and wrecks.
Right. I mean, he was huge. How the fuck was there not a... maybe there was.
Crazy.
Maybe I'm going to look that up. But if there wasn't, we should make it today. I don't know who the fuck he was. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah,
like, crazy motherfucker that jumped cliffs and fucking tractors. Because that's how heavy those bikes were.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's amazing that he went off the fucking thing and just didn't like go out and like a cartoon.
Golly, man.
Lunatic. That guy's a lunatic.
For sure. He got what we call a screw loose.
Did you ever hear the story of it? I don't want to get completely off topic, but when I think it was Warren Beatty or somebody was playing him in the movie Evil Knievel. I can't remember what movie it was, like Burnout or some shit like that. But he was playing. And Evil Knievel showed up on set with a gun and threatened him.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, and they were like, "This fucker's crazy." Like, yeah,
duh.
Yeah.
You think?
You don't do that shit if you're not fucking out. You're out there.
You're making a movie about him. Of course he's fucking crazy.
Would you do that? God. Nobody alive would. Nobody else was doing that shit back then. Nobody. He was doing it. Of course he's crazy. I got a buddy. I can't remember any of the stories he told me. He lives in Vegas and he knew him, or it was like had to deal with him at some point. Told me some stories like he was just a lunatic, but
guaranteed.
This one's probably gonna blow your mind, maybe not. Jiminy Cricket's Wishing Stars.
Wow. No clue.
Yeah.
Had
Because
no
remember
idea.
that when you wish it, so that would have been
Yeah.
like the big thing. Disney had that.
Because they used to have weekly movies.
Yeah, it's on Sunday nights, right?
yeah.
Like Walt Disney. Yeah, that was before they were all petty
Right.
pedos.
And woke.
Yeah.
It's before they woke up with the pedos.
By the way, did you see that they won their Bob Iger gets to stay in control? They were trying to do that hostile takeover. Nelson Peltz, I think his name was. He was trying to take over and getting all the people to bounce them out so they could take over leadership.
I did not see
It's
that.
basically a hostile takeover is what it is. With great reason. Right. And a lot of people were like upset like that it didn't happen. The stock fell off a cliff. I mean, a few dollars immediately, it was down like $2, which is a lot considering it's not nowhere near. I mean, think about Disney stock. If you invested in a Disney stock 10 years ago, 10 years later, do you have the same amount of money you put into it 10 years ago? That's fucking, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, you never invest in a company hoping that 10 years later, you'll still have the same amount of money you put into it.
Right.
Yeah. So
I do that all the time, but it's called a bank.
Yeah. How'd you get all this? Investments. Well, I guess you didn't invest in Disney. Spinning your fucking wheels. Yeah. So a lot of people were like pissed, like, this is bullshit. I love it. So I'm like, I can't think of something better. Like, okay, I get it from an aspect of you're tired of them making the shit.
Right.
But like when you, okay, I know people don't want to see my house burn down, but my neighbors have video of it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I mean, they took a video of it. They're like showing me, and I'm like, yeah, look at it go. They're like, yeah, well, we couldn't miss the opportunity. I'm like, I don't blame you. I would have done the same fucking thing.
Yeah, as if living the nightmare personally wasn't good enough. Now I have to relive it.
Right, but I understand, and that's my perspective of it. It's like, yeah, fuck them. I want to see this go down. This is interesting. I don't want anybody to take him out. I want to see what he can. Look, he's destroyed Star Wars. I mean, he's absolutely destroyed Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's destroyed Indiana Jones. Dude, that's like fucking printing money. That's printing money. Somebody gives you Star Wars, you're printing money.
Clearly not.
Unless you're these guys. So this is fucking awesome. I'm glad. I don't want anybody to take that from him. Let's see what happens.
Right.
It's kind of like my Biden perspective, right? Like, I would vote. If I voted, I'd vote Biden. This is fucking awesome.
Well, don't worry. You probably will anyway.
Don't worry.
Whether you physically vote or not, you're probably going to vote for him.
I probably will. Yeah, well, congratulations. Okay, back to the thing. Ice cream cones. I sent you a picture of that one.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, but I never had it.
I think I did. Yeah, I don't think it was great because it's supposed to be like vanilla and chocolate, but it's just shit. This is
I guarantee it tasted nothing like ice cream.
Yeah, just with sugar.
Yeah, jeez, man.
Circus Fun.
I remember Circus Fun cookies.
Okay,
they were like iced cookies.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was based on then, like the cookies.
Probably. Huh. Again, going back to the nerds analogy, I'll just eat the fucking cookies.
Yeah, right. Mom, can I have some Circus Fun? No. Can I have some cereal?
Exactly.
Tastios?
I remember the name, but I don't remember eating it. I'm sure it wasn't very tasty at all.
Okay. Kaboom.
I remember the name, but go back to Tasty. I think it was called Tasty-O because Tasty-O, no, it's not.
Tasty knows.
No. Oh, no, it's not.
I know you're going to remember this because I do, but I think the name alone at 8 years old would have turned me off. King Vitamin.
I don't remember.
There's just some fucking dude on the cover of the Crown. You know, like a king. But he's king of vitamins.
Oh, okay.
Man, what a shitty job.
Right?
Right? Like, what are you king of? I'm king of this fucking castle. What are you king of? Vitamins.
I'm the king of vitamins. Fish oil is my specialty.
Yeah, that would be a shit job, right?
God. Dude, you
it's
piss
like being
off.
King of freaking, I don't know. I'll just stop.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
Almond Delight. So we covered that earlier. Almond Delight was the one that was bribing people.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You have to.
I mean, so think about that. That's like saying my movie sucks so much. It's like Disney. My movie sucks so much. If you come buy a ticket, we'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
Because so if they're giving cash away, I assume that means the paper kind. And how much was a box of Almond Delight back then?
I have no.
They probably were putting more
buck.
fucking money into the box.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's probably $1.25 or something.
They're like, just take it at this point. Here.
Please
Just
eat our
take it.
food.
Here's money. Get this shit. We got a warehouse filled with this shit.
My wife's divorcing me. I want to bankrupt the company.
Cracker Jacks?
I think I do remember it as a cereal, but I don't remember ever eating it.
Yeah,
But
so basically what it was just a big looking box of.
Go figure.
Yeah, but what do you think? I never had it that I can recall. But what do you think it tastes like? Wouldn't you just, if you're Cracker Jacks, just put your Cracker Jacks into that box and say put milk in it?
You would be smart to do so.
I don't want to mess with the recipe. Let's just.
Well, they probably stuck with the same corn puffed shit that they had for the other crappy cereals and threw it in there.
Yeah, you just coat it with some caramel,
Yeah.
put a stupid fucking plastic ring in the bottom of it, or tattoo of something stupid.
But wait, kids, there's more. There's still the same shitty prize.
Tiny Toons.
They had a cereal?
Yeah, what was Tiny Toons? Was that the...
It's like the Looney Tune but babies.
Okay. Yep, they had a cereal.
It was horrible. I never watched that show.
Now you're gonna remember this, but I'm not gonna give you the name. I'm gonna tell you it was a little it looked like a bee kind of character, but it wasn't. But he had a little hat on. It had a little whirly bird thing on it.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
No, but that sounds like it should be.
I don't know.
Quisp. Like with a Q. Quisp.
Oh. Do you remember they had a cereal called Kick?
Was that?
It was
Kicks?
Little Kicks.
Yeah, they still make that.
Little corn balls.
Yeah, wasn't it? Or is that Tricks? I'm thinking of Tricks. But yeah, I remember Kicks. I think they still make it though.
They probably do. That was another one that my mom used to eat. Of course, with an ass ton of sugar and whipped cream. Which tells you how shitty that cereal was.
we went to sugar like fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah,
we had the good shit, right? The big.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I had for that, dude. Like, those were just the ones that really stuck out because I thought they were the most. Of course, we had Lucky Charms. We still have the good shit lasted the test. It wasn't.
Do you know how excited I am to hear? Oh, we didn't talk about Frosted Flakes.
Well, they still, we can.
It's a staple back then.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say that in a second, like, because remember then Total came out, and Total is supposed to be like the adult version of that,
right? It was
like your kids are eating this shit. You'll eat it, and it's probably the same.
Total box of shit's what it was.
Well, that's what it's literally because it was brand, right? And brand was to make you shit when you're an adult and you can't shit anymore. Right. But again, dude, that was the big. I remember going to my grandma's house. Brand cereal,
right?
And I know why now. I didn't know why then. I was fucking like 8, right? So I'd pull up and they'd be like, Grandma, you got any cereal? And she'd pull out that shit. Of course.
Speaking of, helping you shit, I got to schedule my colonoscopy again. Well, that's a real pain in the ass. Yeah, I got to schedule my, I have to get one every 5 years, every 10.
Are you doing the, what was the one I just did? Because I had to do my first one.
Cologuard?
Is that the one where you shit in a box?
Yeah.
And the best part is, dude, you put it on your door, and I fucking loved, dude. I loved
the shit. Poop.
Like my wife was like, "Aren't you embarrassed to do that?" And I go, "No, I think it's so." I don't know what it was. Like I almost got fucking wood thinking that someone was gonna be picking my turd up and putting it into. What was it like about like I shit in this box? I was laughing while I was doing it.
Well, if that gives you enjoyment, let me tell you what I do. I like to shit in a box and just put it in any random mailbox I see.
You can do that too. That's a great one. But there's something about somebody showing up because you schedule a pickup.
Come pick up my shit, boy.
And what do you think the guy knows? Certainly knows.
Of course he knows.
Because it's like a prepackaged thing.
That's the ultimate shitty job.
That is the ultimate shitty job, dude. Like, I got to take this motherfucker's shit.
What do you do for a living?
I take
shit all day. Well, yeah, I do too. No, really, what do you do though? No, I take a box of shit and I bring it to the mailbox.
What would be better is if you could just call and leave a message or something. Say, yeah, come get my shit.
Do you think there's some weirdo out there that picks him up and he goes?
So that's the thing, because once you seal them, it was pretty tight, right? And it's all like hermetically sealed,
Right.
and they put it because you don't actually. They give you. It's kind of a neat little deal. They put it in a thing, and you go over. My kids were laughing my ass off. And I told him, I go, I did it. And I go, it's really neat. I actually showed him how I set it up first.
You know what, though? You would get some smart ass inevitably like me that I would just shit all over the box. Everything. My turd will be in there, but, there's going to be turd on the box. There's going to be turd on the tape.
That would be fucking a let, dude. Dude, you should do that. You should fucking do it. Right? Not real shit, but like just smear some chocolate,
like some Nutella,
leave like fucking, and put your fucking handprint.
Right. Put like an obvious fingerprint in it where it's wiping it off, like you're licking it.
Imagine. Put it back on the door handle, like when you went back inside.
There was a problem with your pickup. What's the problem?
God, dude. I'm fucking gonna do that next time and fucking record that shit, right? Just put that out. That's gotta be a YouTube video. Someone's had to have done that.
If somebody's done it or hasn't done it and they're taking my idea, you're welcome. Just tag me in it. That's all I care about.
Oh, dude, that's good. Just a fucking handprint.
Put a little piece of toilet paper stuck to it. And then a handwritten note. Sorry about the mess.
I just love the handprint on the door. Like he's fucking get back in your house.
Sorry about the mess.
Do you think they'd take it?
Oh.
Dude, I'm fucking crying.
If I was the pickup dude, no, they wouldn't.
What do you do? I mean, God damn, dude, that's a good one. You've got to do that. Is that what you're going to do again, Cold Guard? No,
I have to have the old tube up the poop chute because I had polyps last time. So.
Oh, okay. You could.
and a family history, so I do.
So they got to do it the
old fashioned prison rape way. You know what I'm saying?
My doctor asked me. He said, "He goes, oh shit." He goes, "It's time for colonoscopy," and I said, "Oh,
that sucks for you, doc."
Well, so that's what he said. He goes, "Well, they got this new thing called Cologuard." I go, "What's that?" And he explained it to me. I'm like, "That's pretty cool." And he goes, "We could do that," and I said, "Let's do that. Let's save both of us the awkwardness. Let's save me the pleasure and you the awkwardness."
Is he a pretty cool guy? Got a good sense of humor?
Yeah, I fuck with him all the time. Yeah.
Next time you go see him, tell him exactly what we talked about.
Dude, he'll laugh his ass off. He will fucking bust out. Every time I'm in there, I start telling him something. We always talk about like something. He'll give me a prescription. I go, fuck. Like he had to give me a prescription for my son because he's on Admiral. And I go, I can't get it. He goes, let me just give you a prescription. And he goes, I'll give you 2. And I go, so for both? And he goes, oh, well, I can't give it for the both different drugs. He goes, because then we're both going to get looked into. So we just went off on so I was asking questions about like how they got like special paper they have to print this shit on. Remember when the doctors used to write it out? They don't anymore.
Have your DEA number and all that.
It's got a watermark, dude.
It's traced back to it's crazy.
Yeah. So he goes,
thank you, Florida Pill Mills, by the way.
Is that what it is?
Basically.
Wow.
Doctor writing scripts for perks, like they were pill mills. They'd have them line up, come in, they'd pay their whatever. Doc would write them a script, and they'd go, fill it. And that's why the OxyContin crisis is so bad right now because of that shit.
Oh,
licensed doctors, man, shady as fuck.
Yeah, legalized drug dealers.
Yeah.
It's he was telling me because we're so close to Illinois. It's what people do is they'll take a prescription, they'll go to Illinois and they'll get their drugs there, and it doesn't register yet that the drug's been picked up because it's different states.
Yep.
They'll come back here. I guess Adderall's a big one. Adderall and fuck, I can't keep track of them. Maybe I don't know.
Ritalin.
Just use your imagination.
Ritalin.
Not Ritalin, it was something else. Contin is
OxyContin.
Yeah,
that's the opiate based. It's bad news, man.
But Adderall's, because it's funny to me.
Adderall's a stimulant.
Yeah, have you ever taken Adderall?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, so I have ADHD. I think you do too.
I'm probably pretty sure of it.
And it doesn't do anything for me, so I think it's funny that people. But it's not, if you have it, it's not supposed to do anything. But
Right.
if you do, so I was asking him, like, what is it? Because I'm curious, like, why is this such a? I still have trouble focusing. Like, if I have a lot of stuff I have to do or computer work or something like that, it really helps me. It just helps me keep on task.
Right.
But I guess
turns the noise down inside a little bit. All the distractions.
A little bit. And I'm not on a huge dose. I've heard people get on some pretty big ones.
But that's exactly why you don't see the rush of taking it, because it works for you. It's where the people that have an undiagnosed condition are taking it like they're not supposed to, and it is a stimulant, and so they get that rush.
Yeah,
from
it's supposed to be like speed. Yeah. So it's but I was asking him, like, so is that like, because I looked at him and we were laughing, like, wow, that's got to be a good time. Like, I wish it worked like that for me, but when I was in I got diagnosed in high school. That was before they knew all this shit, right? I was like I think the only kid in my school. I got put on Ritalin, and I fucking hated that, because what it did was I always liked to be social. I was always outgoing, and it would
kind of numb you a little bit,
like zombify me, dude. Yeah. Like, it just shut me down. Like, I'd just be like a lobotomy.
A lot of those medicines that I was on before were like that. I didn't like it, man. It wasn't me. You know, I didn't feel like me. It was crap. So no more.
Yeah, when I went back to it, he started asking me, he goes, so how's this? How's that? And he goes, because my son was diagnosed with it. And he goes, did you ever have issue? I go, oh, yeah. I go, I was on that shit early. I just didn't like it. So then we started talking. He goes, maybe you should, have you ever thought, like, and I go, he started asking me questions. He goes, do you do this? I'm like, oh, yeah, all the fucking time, twice a day. Like, do you forget your car keys? And I did on the way here. He's like, oh, my God.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Yeah. So it was like, he goes, well, maybe we should try it. What did he say to me that was funny? He goes, well, I can kind of tell. He goes, I just love people like you, man, because you're like, he goes, like, if I go to a party, I'm like the guy in the corner. And he goes, and the guys like you are out there, and everybody's around you all the time. he goes, it's a good thing when it comes to that. Like, right. But when you're trying to get shit done, like, dude, I'm like, you can. So when I went back to school, and I didn't have it then, it probably would have been so much easier. But when I study things, I can only do it for like if I have like what you were just saying, you had to study for some shit. I can do it great, and I pass everything. I can do it, but I had to learn to do it in intervals. So like, I can, if you tell me there's a test, like when I got like I said, I went back to school and tested for whatever my course was, I could do 30 minutes. I'd have to stop because I'll just start like
drifting.
Yeah, it's like I always like it. It's like a cloud.
Yeah,
I'll be looking and all of a sudden I can't see the work anymore because I'm all of a sudden, and the next thing you know, I'm thinking about something. And
yeah, I do that shit all the time.
Yeah, so that's probably because I said it to you because you like to jump thing to thing, and that's what that is. That's it's like if someone threw a little ball in front of you.
Yeah, shiny.
It's just like you don't have that. And my son's got it, and I try to teach him. We can't study like other people. We can't, like my wife, dude, can sit down. When she was going to get her master's, she would sit there, come home from work.
For hours.
Yeah, she would sit down and just fucking 5 hours. I'm like, I don't know how you do that.
I'm like you. I got to get up like every half hour.
Yeah,
45 minutes if I'm pushing it.
And I used to try to do it like that, but I just would fail because it wasn't who I was. So I had to learn. So I try to tell my son that for somebody like him to sit in class for 6-7 hours a day, it's impossible. And it's not fair.
It makes perfect sense, hindsight, because looking back, high school was horrible. It was torturous because of that.
Yeah.
I lost interest quick and focused, and I'd just be...
Dude, I'd get up. My teacher wanted to help me so badly, she made this is fucking embarrassing to say, she made me a blinder.
Don't worry, nobody's listening.
Fold out so she could fucking put it around so I couldn't like see because I just get up. like she'd say sometimes I just get him go sit down with someone. I remember doing it. Like I just go sit down there time. So what's up, you guys gonna do tonight? She's like, Ryan. I'm like, fuck what? What?
What?
And she'd be like, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't handle it like that. But I try to tell him that we just don't study like other people do. We don't. You have to learn, and that's the problem with when you fit into that structured class like that. You can't do, but no one cares. Now, so here's the thing: when I ended up going back to college, and I understood who I was more. I developed more. I was older.
Right.
Dude, I was on the fucking dean's list. Like I was like killing it. I think my grade point average was like 3.75, or it might have been higher. What is it? It was high. I was at 4.0 for a while, and it wasn't. And I told my kid, it's not that you're smart. You think you're dumb. It's the way you're learning.
Yeah.
You gotta. It's like a diet, or it's like working out. Not every workout plan is going to work for certain people.
You're 100%.
It's just different, and you got to understand that.
Looking back, wow, it's for a long time I thought I was dumb, right? I was a CD student.
Yeah.
At best. Barely graduated. Graduated boot camp and went right to my A school, my first school. I failed 2 tests and got set back. And which was even more damaging to my self-esteem.
That's it right there. And that actually makes it worse. And then it snowballs.
Then I found something that I really wanted to do. It was independent duty corpsman school, which is very similar to physician's assistant. And about a 75 to 80% attrition rate out of that school. So here I am. I want to do this. And I know I want to do it. So it's the only thing I want to do in the Navy at this point, right? But in the back of the mind, I still got, you're not going to make it through, dummy. You're too stupid, right?
That's how I felt, yeah. My son feels like that too.
But my whole point in saying that is that once I found what I wanted to do, I put my mind to it. I found a way through it. And I ended up graduating 6 out of 25 with a 96% average.
Yeah.
My dad had no idea who the fuck I was. Who are you? You know what I mean?
I'm witnessing it with that exact same thing with my son right now. I watched, now I never gave up on him. I knew, because I seen he's good at so many things. He's smart. But he has that, like, I guess you'd call it a disease. I never considered it the disease because it never fucking bothered me.
I
was a
wouldn't
little
call
hyper.
it a disease. I'd call it a disorder.
They would call, I mean, they would like to. That's what it is. They want to get, they can't handle dealing with it. Somebody like that who's hyper or moves or doesn't respond the way they want everybody to.
They want cookie
robots.
cutter.
Yeah. And so it's crazy because it's kind of the same thing. My dad didn't understand. So I just got yelled at all the time.
Same here.
I understand. So over the course of his life, I've tried to explain to him. Now, you don't always want to listen to your dad, especially, it gets tiresome, but I repeat myself over and over. That's the same things I was just telling you. He finally understood it. It finally clicked.
He's lucky then.
Yeah, he went from now we had teachers like, oh, he's just not going to be prepared. Like this is in 6th grade, and in 7th grade, he's not keeping up. He's behind a level. And then he just realized that what he did was like you did. I never had that. I was just always fucking working. I got in construction. I didn't have any. I just said, well, I'll just do construction, see where that takes me. There was nothing I found a passion for. I guess I just made money. I worked. I did that. I didn't have anything I absolutely loved. I played sports. That was probably my thing. But he, like you, has found something in he wants to be an IT guy. And that has given him the drive, because now, and this is good news. You just got accepted last week to an IT school, which is exciting news for us. So you have to go interview and shit like that. And then, so basically next year, his senior year, he gets to start going out and getting out of school. He gets to start going and focusing on his trade.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a trade school, and he's going to be starting that at the age
really
of,
cool.
yeah. So at 17, he's going to be already preparing for his future. And like you, he knows what he wants to do. Unlike me, I was like, we'll see where this fucking whirlwind takes us.
Well, it took me a while to get to that point.
Uh-huh.
That's why I say Jet's lucky, because he found it early.
Yeah, I tell him that all the time. I say, this is what he wants to do. He's already getting into it. I couldn't be more proud. And it is, but he's found a way to overcome it, which is more than what I could say for me. It just took me years to get to that level.
Right.
But that's how he was feeling, just like what you were just saying, just how I felt, was that the more you deal with that affliction or whatever you want to say, it doesn't make things easier. It makes things worse.
Yeah, you got to work. I always say, compared, like even nursing school, when I went to nursing school, I got to study twice as hard as my classmates, because it just doesn't process the same. Fortunately, I got through nursing school. I breezed through nursing school, and it wasn't because I was so smart. I was been in the medical field for 20 years prior to going, so it was experience mainly.
Yeah.
And finally figuring out how I have to study as opposed to everybody else, and a lot of times I would get accused of being unsociable or whatever, because they'd have study groups and they'd invite me. I'm like, I can't study that way.
Yeah.
Thanks, but
yeah.
So
if you invite me to your study group, you're not studying either.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I'm fucking talking, probably hitting on all the girls.
Right.
You're studying, like, we're not getting shit done. It'll be the last time you invite my ass to a study group.
It's kind of like this podcast.
Right. That's why I say we're like all over the place. And I can see it. It took me years to identify it. Even when I had it, I never gave it a second thought until I started seeing it in my son. And then I understood that that's always been, and that's the best way to do it, is like, it's like you can be staring at something, and then all of a sudden someone will rattle some keys, and you're like, you shouldn't be doing it, but you can't. That's just the way it is. And
at the same time, though, you and I are both proof positive that you don't have to jump to medication as the first resort, right?
Yeah.
Because we've gotten through it this many years. Now, I'm all for, if you've got somebody that the medication could benefit and assist them, sure, absolutely, but don't rush. And this is more for the kids.
We reduce this. So so to fill in on the Adderall, I actually do a higher level than him now, and I'm probably too fucking old to be worrying about it. So we reduce his, I think we had him at 30. Me and the doctor have over time, how are you doing with this? Can we take it back a bit? So we've actively been reducing it.
So you've been titrating it.
Yeah. So we'll take it to 25, take it to 20.
You have to, though. I mean, that's not just a, hey, hit it and forget it type of medication. You gotta be on top of that stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't. So right now we got him at 15. That's working. He's maintaining his grades. That's a good point. But even a couple of weeks ago, he's like, Dad, I want to go without doing it today. So he went, and then he went another day, and he's like, I got to get it. This is when we couldn't get it. So we couldn't even get it because it's so out of stock. They're way behind. When I was trying to get it, so the good thing is I have 2 prescriptions, and he can have mine. He was taking mine for like the last month. So I just gave him mine. He was taking mine. But if we didn't have that, he would have been probably a month without it, which could have been detrimental. So I told everybody, and the doctors have said, he's got to come first. So give me mine, give me his. I'll try to get both. And then he can but I got lucky one day. I had to call the pharmacy. I said, hey, I got this and that. Okay, we got yours. And we only have 25 of the 15s. Will that work? And I said, fuck yeah, it'll work. I said, I'll be up. I go, block it in, baby.
Whatever you got.
So he gets, now I got 2 bottles. He can have mine. He can have his. But yeah, it is. It's a good thing, but it's working out well for him. We've been dialing it back. He wants to dial it back. Yeah, and it's funny, man, because I look back at the teachers were all like, and we've, being a parent, is not easy. But you see that it's work, and it's constant battle. But now I can see him, You know, that's all you want. That's like I say to them all the time. Like, if you guys are happy, I'll die happy.
Right.
You know, don't worry about me. Like, I'll be happy if you guys are happy. But you can see things taking shape now. You know, like I said, we've been through a lot in getting him diagnosed and listening to fucking teachers all the time. And I used to have to go into meetings, dude. I'd be like one guy in a meeting with like fucking 10 women, psychologists, and she's from over here. She works at, and it's like fucking.
Who cares?
Yeah, they're just there to analyze you, and I'm just there to make jokes,
right?
Right. So, but that's years and years, and to see the payoff with him now, and go, wow, this motherfucker last week just got accepted to just trade school.
That's awesome.
And they sent a letter out. Oh yeah, dude, I was like fucking ecstatic, and
he's very lucky. He's recognized it early in his life, man.
Yeah, but again, dude, it comes back to, I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back here. Like, I'll pat you on the back, and like I'll pat any parent out there that's going through the ups and downs and taking it upon themselves to stay involved. And it's parenting, man.
Right.
You know, if you're not involved in this shit, it's all it is. Every fucking thing you see out there, if you see something crime happening, it's committed by someone who's most likely parents fucking sucked. No offense. It just, they fucking did. And if you see a kid that's doing well, it's probably because he's, you know, maybe he beat the odds. Right. Good for him or her.
You say no offense. I say if that offends you, good. Fuck you. Maybe it should offend you. Raise your children.
If you're going to fucking have them.
Yep. Raise them.
Raise them. And that's the biggest thing that I always worry about is when I see the shit that takes place, I think, fuck, I'm busting my ass to do what I can to get my kids and my wife as well to a position that, you know, when I die, I don't have to worry or whatever. I'll probably be worrying when I'm dead, but
and voting Democrat
and voting Joe Biden. So, did Joe win again? He did. This is his 17th year.
He's been dead for 16 of them.
Anyhow, we can end it there. We always get off. There's our ADHD guys. We went from talking cereal to what we went into
talking cereal to Adderall.
Yeah, that is the new cereal. Did you hear about Adderalls? Adios.
Adios. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you've got a favorite cereal, send it in the comment. Let us know.
Yeah, we need to get people. We came up with cartoons and shit like that, and then when in the cereal, we can come up with something for next week. But it's been fun.
Yeah,
talking about old shit.
It's always fun, man. And ADHD.
And ADHD.
What better? All right, we'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.